All right, happy Friday, team. We are live. And I say we, I actually mean we. Yes, I have a partner in crime today. Monica, I'm not sure what her last name is on the show. She'll be joining me on Fridays. We're going to do this around 3 p.m. every Friday. We're calling this the bottom line because she's got questions and I've got answers. Monica, whatever your last name is, say hi.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm so excited to be here with Derrick Evans himself, live in the flesh. I do have some questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You know what? This is the show is called The Bottom Line, so we had better get to it and draft that up. So fire away. What do we got? What's hot today?
What's hot? I mean, obviously, this real estate market, and I don't have to tell
True.
anybody that is watching this video what is going on. When did the insanity start? What was the true catalyst? Because I remember being very scared at the beginning of this pandemic.
Yeah. A lot of people were. A lot of people expected that the pandemic would cause problems with real estate because of unemployment. But what people have sort of failed to realize there's two big things. Number one, the cash on the sidelines was huge. We're seeing that play out now. A lot of people were in cash, which is one of the reasons why you're seeing the stock market going up. One of the reasons why you're seeing the real estate market going up. A lot of that cash is getting deployed. A lot of people are crypto rich too, by the way. I pre-approved a gentleman this week. First time I've seen this. Who owns $8.6 million in Bitcoin. So, and he makes $70,000 or $80,000 a year as a IT guy. So there's a lot of people who are crypto rich, and there's just tons of money flushing the system, and that's why you're starting to see some inflation. So it did begin back then. It is going strong now. But, Monica, I do have something to show you, and I'm going to see what happens if I actually go. Let's see what happens if I go share my screen. Oh, we both stay on there. That's cool. All right, so that's actually Bitcoin right there. We'll get to that in a second. I'm getting a Facebook call right now from a sailor who's overseas. Sorry, Gary, I'll get back with you soon.
Bring him on.
All right, let's take a look. Can I make it stop that way? Okay. So let's take a look here. This is mortgage bonds. Yesterday, I went through this in great detail. We have what's called and you're getting into some stocks, right? Monica, some technical analysis.
I'm one of those pesky day traders, trying to make a quick buck that institutional money wants to crush. I can only assume.
Do you remember what I told you when you asked me if that was a good idea?
I did.
What did I tell you?
That's a great way to lose a lot of money quickly.
So I just want to make sure that everyone's aware of that. That was our actual conversation. So what we had, actually I drew this terribly. Sorry, I should be paying attention to what I'm doing. So what we had yesterday was what we call bearish flag. And this is technical analysis stuff that they, go over with day traders and things like that, which is, it looks kind of like a flag, but the flag is on the bottom, the pole is on the top. That's a bearish sign. And what I was saying yesterday was that, hey, we're at a point here of decision where the market's got to go one way or the other. This particular candle right here looks terrible, and I quote. And then today, of course, we've now lost 52 basis points. So we're 52 basis points in the bad for mortgage rates today. Not good. Not good at all. And that's kind of what happened. So unfortunately, Monica, I was correct about this. And we're in a situation now where rates have gotten a little bit worse today. When does this end? Well, the only good news today was that we did hold this technical support area here, this Fibonacci level. Did hold for the day. So hopefully we can get a bounce off of that and start heading in the right direction come Monday. So if you're in the process of purchasing a home, if you're in the process of refinancing, you're not locked yet, expect rates to be a little bit higher. If you have a higher credit score, it's not affecting you as much. They seem to be repricing a lot right now based on people who have the lower credit scores. They're really getting the brunt of this right now. So not great news, but it's the truth. We're here to share that. So that's what's going on with mortgage rates. Although I will tell you, this is not slowing down the real estate market one bit. A lot of offers out right now, talking to a lot of listing agents, and people are still willing to pay over. There's still multiple offers, even on $1 million house in Alpine, which is the one I'm working on right now. There are multiple offers on it, and we're going over list price. So, it's not, there's enough demand to absorb this. And remember, rates in the high twos or low threes are still really, really good, and most buyers will still be on board for that.
So is this going to go away when the vaccine is completely rolled out and we go back to some sort of normalcy?
I wouldn't count on the vaccine to bring normalcy. It's just a matter of lifting restrictions. The vaccine gives people a peace of mind to lift restrictions, but it's really the lifting of restrictions that's going to be a big deal. And that's where there's a concern of inflation popping off, because we have basically a situation where there's people who are going to be going back to work. There's people who are going to be opening businesses back up. Money's going to be flowing back into the economy. Whereas right now, a lot of that money has just been going into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and the stock market, because people aren't going out to eat because they can't. So they're going in and investing money. So some money could come out of there. And that could actually be a catalyst for us to see a pullback in some of these things. Although I do have something to share with you, Monica. I know we've got to get to Bitcoin at some point, right, today?
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so I got two things for you. Let me shut this down real quick. Okay, so this, not sure if you saw this or not, but oops, one-man production here. Hold on one second. Let me get rid of this lower third. Boom. All right, so this is a link. I'll post the link in the video, both on YouTube and on Facebook. I posted this on Facebook yesterday, just on my personal page. BlockFi, who is going to revolutionize banking via crypto. They have a tremendous offering. They're rolling tons of stuff out. One of the things is this new credit card. And everyone knows if you want to have a good credit score, you got to have at least one credit card that's open and active, and you really should have 3. I highly suggest you make this one of them. Now, this isn't out yet. You can't apply for it yet. You can get on the waiting list, and that's it. And this is a link to get you on the waiting list. They're going to give you, Monica, 1.5% cash back in Bitcoin on every purchase. So they will actually, right? How cool is that? So they'll actually store it for you. So they'll purchase the Bitcoin, put it in your BlockFi account for you. So you have a Bitcoin account. Every time you buy something, you're basically saving Bitcoin. How cool is that?
Yeah, I have to sign up today.
Yes, you do.
Are you an affiliate? Do you get any Bitcoin?
No, but I do own Bitcoin, full disclosure. So I do want people to buy Bitcoin. I do what I'm promoting Bitcoin because I believe in it. And that's a whole nother spiel that we could get into as to why.
I think some analysts are saying that Bitcoin could go up to $1 million within 10 years.
It could go 5 million.
Insane. Whoa.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what's interesting about Bitcoin is there's a limited amount of it, and most people who are buying it are holding it. It's sort of a gold replacement or like a cash replacement. Very few large companies own Bitcoin at this point or own large amounts of it. Tesla being the one that was most recent, where they came out and said, hey, we bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor also, he's now got like $4 or $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they're holding it. And someone did an analysis on if only 10% of the companies in the S&P used 10% of their cash holdings to buy Bitcoin with, that it would go to $400,000 per coin. So, there's a ton of catalysts to move it higher, particularly the fact that there's a limited supply of it. So there are a lot of things I could tell you about Bitcoin, but bottom line is it's going to go higher. It's going to go higher for a long period of time, and it's really the only true currency that exists out there, in the sense that it cannot be manipulated. There is no one in charge of it except for the free market. There's no, Wizard of Oz behind the curtain who can manipulate it, say, oh, we're going to make more Bitcoin, or we're going to reduce Bitcoin, or we're going to change the rules. The rules are set. They can't be changed. It is the only true currency marketplace that exists. And there's a lot of potential upside. As Goldman Sachs, by the way, just recently reopened their trading desk for Bitcoin. Also, we're seeing the creation of the first Bitcoin ETF was released in Canada recently. Huge demand for that. Wall Street's coming. They're going to get behind it. They're going to want a piece of that pie. And when they start pushing it and they get behind it, it is going to go bonkers. So that's why I have decided to enter, and I am going and trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can.
I think we could say the bottom line here.
Bitcoin goes higher.
You can't beat them, join them.
You're so funny. No, it's true. The bottom line is Bitcoin goes higher. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. So, you can buy it today at 50-some thousand, or, you can buy it. You can sheepishly buy it when it's at $1 million because you just have to at that point, right?
Right.
Everyone will own it. Your mom will own it. Grandmas will own it. By the time it gets there, everyone will have to be in on it at some point. And I think what's cool about this credit card is that what it's gonna show you. They already have like 200,000 people on the wait list for this credit card, by the way.
Wow.
It's going to show that using Bitcoin as a reward is a very good way to get people, to attract people. So you're going to see more companies offer that. And what all that does is just help more people buy Bitcoin ultimately. And that, of course, will drive the price higher. So there's about 1 million catalysts to drive Bitcoin higher. And you're going to see those 100% at work here in the next 5 to 10 years is going to go much, much higher.
So when you saw Bitcoin go down to in late February to 45,000, did you know that was a pullback and that was a great buying opportunity, or was anyone feeling pressure? Was anyone getting scared?
No, I was surprised that it had gone up to 58,000 right before that. I thought that was pretty crazy. It was just a straight march from like 25 to 58, which makes no sense. So there needs to be a pullback. There should have been a pullback somewhere along the way. The fact that it basically doubled and then pulled back is just natural. And so it was hard to see if that was, something that was a crash of any sort, or if it was a buying opportunity. Elon Musk thought it was a buying opportunity, and he pulled the trigger for 1.5 billion. So, you call that whatever you want. Yeah, I call that a buying sign.
It's a buy, definitely.
Yeah.
Something interesting, there's a Deutsche Bank survey, and it found that 50% of young adults plan to invest their stimulus checks.
Ooh.
Right?
What do you think they're going to invest it in?
Are they going for Bitcoin?
You tell me.
Or are they going to participate?
What's the best performing investment out there right now, and what has been for the past 7 years? What has the best numbers? This is why Wall Street's going to do so well when they get a hold of it. Because, if I was sitting down with you at a table and we were looking at your investments and I showed you all the different things and the returns, the thing that has the greatest return is Bitcoin. So if the sales arm of Wall Street, which is the big brokerages, this is Fidelity, this is, Charles Schwab, these types of brokerages that are the sales mechanism for Wall Street, if they have the opportunity to get behind Bitcoin and sell a Bitcoin product, they'll be able to do it, and they'll be able to do it very well because the sales deck is super simple. It's, hey, do you want to own the number one performing investment asset that exists or not? That's literally the whole pitch. So it's a very easy pitch. I contacted Fidelity recently, which is who I use for my brokerage account, and I asked them because I wanted to see what would happen. Like, hey, can I buy Bitcoin, or what's the closest thing to Bitcoin I can buy through Fidelity? And they basically turned me around. They were like, nothing. We got nothing. There's nothing you can get. We don't have anything. You can't buy cryptocurrencies. If you have a Coinbase account, we can connect it to your account so you can see your balance. So they're still stonewalling people completely who come to the table with their money and their wallet open. That won't last forever. There's millions of other people who are asking that question. They're going to open the coffers. They're going to create product. They're going to create opportunity there. And once they do, you're going to see them sell that product, those packages, those ETFs, or those investment products, just like they did mortgages back in the day, which is why I do predict a future crash. And it's because they're going to get it and they're going to run it, and it's going to go insane. And you will see Bitcoin worth not just $1 million, but probably millions of dollars per Bitcoin.
I honestly, it's like I can't even fathom.
It's happening. It's going to happen. There's only so many. Remember, There's only 21 million Bitcoins possible. So there's over 21 million millionaires in the United States of America. So every millionaire, there's more than that actually, in the United States can't even own one Bitcoin. There's not enough of them. And that alone, we're not even talking about corporations who might buy thousands of Bitcoins themselves. So if you just look at the numbers, there's only really one way for this to go and one way for this to end. Now, I do think the government will get involved eventually, hopefully later versus sooner, and they will tank this thing in a major way. But we've got a long, long ways to go before then. Wall Street has a whole lot of money they want to make between now and then. So trust me on that. That's happening.
Absolutely. How's oil doing these days?
Oil's up. Oil's higher. You want to take a look? Let's take a look. Why not? So here's that. I'm going to post that link so you guys can check that out. This is BlockFi, by the way, who's offering that. Really, really cool. Worth checking out. They have a lot of different things.
You convinced me. Okay.
Yeah, they have a lot going on. It's really very interesting. They're trying to change banking completely. And they have some very, very cool stuff that they are doing. If you look again at stocks today, we see just higher. Dow's up 290 points. S&P just, a little bit above flat. A little bit of a tech sell-off today in the NASDAQ. And we saw, the 10-year yield increased, which caused mortgage bonds to get hit. And of course, the Dow seems to be running away. Why is that the case? People keep asking, well, how come we see days like this where the Dow is up almost 1%, but the S&P hardly moves or the NASDAQ is down? They really all are sort of their own animal at this point. And you're seeing the Dow is mostly big corporations. These are big companies with lots of cash and lots of political connections. Those are kind of companies that are going to do well with this administration. That's what they're built for. That's the reason why I've recommended investing in some companies that are similar to that, whether they're in the Dow or not. AT&T, Verizon, IBM, ExxonMobil, Chevron. Those are the 5 that I bought couple months ago that have performed extremely well and also have huge dividends. So those are the kinds of companies that are going to do well in this particular political environment. S&P is much bigger representation. It's 500 companies instead of 30. So you're seeing, a much more averaged out kind of situation with that. And the NASDAQ obviously is the high flying tech stuff, which has been up so much. I remember when the NASDAQ was at like 3,000.
Tech was crushing today.
Yeah. Crushing or getting crushed?
I think the past tense would be going down.
That's correct.
Okay.
So you think it was going up today?
Yes.
Let's take a look because it says we were down.
Let's take a look at the indices.
So NASDAQ here was down 0.6%. Let's see if we do. The one thing that's bad about these particular charts, you kind of see the last 5 days here. See, I'm trying to get myself out of the way. I'm not actually positioned very well for this. But bottom line is, oh my goodness, this site sucks so much. I don't know why I use this piece of crap. I really don't. I wish there was a better one because it's such a janky crap pile just of a website. But here I am. I'm on it, sharing it with everybody. So, we lost, almost 80 points. And I was like, what I was going to look at was just like the 5-year to show you, like, I remember, and it wasn't that long ago. I mean, look at this. We're talking about 5 years going back to, NASDAQ 4,700. I mean, this thing has made a crazy run. And
monster.
It has been the monster indice. This has been the one the Qs have crushed. If you are, if you bought the Qs, they have gone up like wild. There's not much for dividends here. This is pretty much just a growth play, and it's been working really, really well. And right now, a lot of people think there's still a lot of growth left in this marketplace. So, as we discussed earlier, mortgage rates got hit today. They got hurt a little bit. We have some cool stuff we're going to share with you with regard to opportunity for rewards with the credit card that's brand new. You got to get on this waiting list though; it's really long, and they'll show you how you can move yourself up the waiting list if you want to. Definitely check out BlockFi. Take a look at Bitcoin. Research it more on your own. See if it's something that makes sense for you. Just look at what's happened with it. Look at the history of it. Try to get an understanding of it. Dan Held is a great guy to follow. If you just YouTube, Dan Held, you'll see he's got tons of stuff on there. And his name, I'm just going to type it in here for you. DANHELD. Dan Held is his name. So super simple. That's the guy. He's got all kinds of explanation videos on here. If you want to learn about Bitcoin, don't take my word for it. I'm as much of a novice as anyone else. This guy is an expert. He has it all studied out, has it all figured out. You can go watch his videos. He publishes one every week where he goes into details about something regarding Bitcoin. So if you're interested in it, check that out. And something else too, Monica, we should discuss. A lot of people are asking, probably a video that I'll make in the near future is, something like a Bitcoin versus real estate, or like a stock market versus real estate. What are the differences? And I think a quick synopsis on that is they're complete opposites. Real estate, hard asset, easy to understand. Everyone gets it. Everyone needs it. Bitcoin, digital asset. No one needs it. Almost no one gets it. Yet it's the number one performing investment that has existed in the last 7 years. So,
what is a cryptocurrency that uses blockchain? Can you really give me a good definition of that? Someone off the street?
No. I can't give you a good definition of that. And as I've said before, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if the technology is old. People say, oh, there's new cryptos that, have better technology and this, that. None of that matters. What matters is the policy that Bitcoin has to maintain a certain fixed amount of its existence, and the fact that it has the rules predetermined to be conducive to the free market. And because of that, is it attracting people? Are there applications for this? 100%. Are there ways that you can use Bitcoin to buy things and share it? 100%. All that stuff exists. But the main thing is, unlike an Ethereum, for example, that has kind of like a CEO who can make decisions, they can add more Ethereum to the mix, they can change things. That's the same system we have already with dollars and whatevers. That's the system that crypto was supposed to be getting providing alternative for, not just copycatting it and making it digital. That's the reason why Bitcoin is special. Not because it was first, and not just because it's the most promoted, but because the underlying function of it is actually ideal for an investor, for someone to buy it and hold it. And that's the reason why you're going to see it continue to go higher, because that will never change.
So could you see Ethereum or Riot or Mara, other cryptocurrencies, going as far as Bitcoin?
I have no idea. Sure, they could go up. They could double, triple. They could 10x. All that stuff is totally possible. It's all totally possible. They could all go to zero as well. And this is all possible. But for me, trying to understand all of that is too much. And I think for the average person, it's too much. And that's another reasons why I think you're going to see most people who want to get into crypto go to Bitcoin, because it's the one where they say, well, I know that one. I know people are invested in that one. I know major companies like Tesla, Elon Musk are invested in that one. They're going to see that there's things that make them feel warm and fuzzy about going that direction. And you don't have to buy Bitcoins in whole. You don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin. You can buy $100 worth of Bitcoin right now. You can buy a fraction of it. So I think as people become more educated and as Wall Street gets involved and starts, deploying the sales arm out into the public, you're going to continue to see that go higher as well. So somehow we ended up doing a segment about Bitcoin.
Bottom line is, get that credit card.
Bottom line is, mortgage rates might go higher in the interim. The real estate market has not been slowed down by it whatsoever. Pay attention. Bottom line, pay attention to the information that you're receiving, particularly about real estate, because a lot of the information you're going to see about real estate online is nationally oriented. It is not focused on your local marketplace. If you are in San Diego, we live in a bubble here. And I don't mean a real estate bubble. I mean a climate bubble. I mean an ocean bubble, a beach bubble. We live in a different type of local economy and just everything, a local climate, than anywhere else you're going to see. So is San Diego a leading or lagging indicator? Typically, we are leading in and lagging out, which is great. So we might be the first market to do really well and the last one to do poorly. And that's why San Diego is an easier bet, because if you're in Indianapolis, or I'm not picking on Indianapolis, some random place in Iowa,
You already picked on them.
I'm shifting to Iowa, random city in Iowa. If you're there, all of a sudden it'll just be crickets. You won't get a warning shot. You won't get to see anything. It'll just all of a sudden be crickets. You'll be like, what's going on? In San Diego, we'll get to see the crickets in Iowa first. Remember, this happened, the last time that we saw the real estate market take a hit, we got to see at least a year warning. People ignored it. That we will not do. If you subscribe here, if you follow me, I'll make sure that you know in plenty of time before anything crazy happens. And because we'll be able to see it happening in other markets. We'll be able to see it happening in other sectors. And so San Diego will lead the charge higher, and they'll be a little bit behind on the way down, because people will ultimately bail on some of these places to come here when they realize that things aren't going so well in Arizona and wherever else, Texas, Utah, all the places that people have fled from California because of the prices. When they see that prices are dropping there, they'll go, wait a minute, why am I going to be in a market where my house is getting crushed and I don't have the San Diego weather? Yeah, I'm going back. So that will happen as well. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but when the time comes, that's how it'll look.
Absolutely. Love living in a destination city.
This is great.
Absolutely. We're
We are,
lucky.
we're like right at the 25-minute mark. This is perfect. How
Oh
did you
my
do? How did you do it, Monica?
gosh. Years of training. Oh my
This is
gosh.
great. Well, we came with this idea. We wanted to do this show. The bottom line, we want to get to the bottom line of some of the hot topics that are out there. We're going to get more organized. We'll have a cool open. We'll do some cool stuff and some cool graphics. That's all going to happen. We want to get the first one out of the way. We wanted to introduce you to Monica. We wanted to introduce you to this format because this is something that we're going to be doing. Yeah. What's your last name?
Monica Barron.
Monica Barron. She's going with Monica Barron. It's not her last name. So
They outed me.
Of course. Yes. This is going to be a place where we're going to get honesty. This is going to be a place where nothing is off the table. This is going to be a place where we try to give you insights as to what's going on out there and try to answer some of the questions that people are asking. So hopefully you find this helpful. You can share this with your friends. And we will be back again next week at 3 p.m. on Friday for The Bottom Line, Episode 2. We'll see you then.